Hello, Barendipitous here with another video for the board game shelf. Actually, kind of more of an update video on a board game I already talked about, which is, of course, Unmatched. But I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. Well, the main reason is I feel like at least until next year, my storage of all my Unmatched stuff is basically complete. I think I said in the last Unmatched video that I was planning on basically just collecting all of the like non-IP characters. So Unmatched definitely has like not only do they have a lot of characters from like literature and mythologies and history and things like that. Those are all of the like gosh what like those are like the public domain characters basically. Unmatched also has boxes of like Marvel and Jurassic Park, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and others. And a lot of those characters do look cool, but I've decided I wanted to focus on public domain characters. So I made it my mission to try to collect all of the public domain characters that are available. And now I am all caught up. And I wanted to show that off and kind of talk about the storage solution that I chose. I know there are several out there. There's an official one, there's a few others, but my favorite one that I came across was by a YouTube channel called Burnt Troast Games. I thought it was Burnt Toast Games. It's actually Burnt Troast Games. But anyway, yeah, let me show you. So, now it still looks like a lot of boxes, but trust me, this is like the I like the way that this looks, and it's a lot better than using the normal, which I'll show a comparison between all the boxes that it would normally take up and all the boxes I'm currently using. So these two boxes here have all of the characters in them that I have. So yeah, I'm using Battle of Legends Volume 1 and Battle of Legends Volume 2 to house all of the characters. Everything's kind of like full here, so I'm trying to, oh dear, here, I'm just going to move this over, show that later. There we go. So yeah, so these are all of the characters that I have. All of the official public domain characters. I don't have any fan-made characters. Just all the public domain ones. You can see, so yeah, King Arthur, Medusa, Alice, Sinbad, Bloody Mary, Yananga, Sun Wukong, Achilles, Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, Sherlock, Beowulf, Little Red, Bigfoot, Robin Hood, Nikola Tesla, Houdini, the Genie, Dr. Jill Trent, Annie Christmas, Golden Vat, Wayward Sisters, Titania, oh gosh, I keep forgetting what the proper pronunciation is. Titania, Hamlet, Shakespeare, Tomoe, and Oda. All of them. All of the official public domain characters. And so yeah, Burnt Toast Games showed this, kind of made a video a little while ago, I think earlier this year, showing this storage solution, and I like it a lot. Basically, using these like very cheap deck boxes, these deck boxes usually come with their own like little dividers. So having the cards in the back, in the middle having the miniature along with the basically I cut out the insert from the box itself so that the miniature can sit in there safe and sound. And of course in the front would be all the health dial and the sidekicks and stuff with the labels that Burnt Toast Games made. Basically showing you who is inside, who is focus. There we go. Who is in the box, whether they're melee or ranged, what their hit points are. Usually a symbol from like what box they're from. A short version of like what their ability is and their movement. If you want to see what it looks like with a character with sidekicks, this is what it looks like where you have like basically like the sidekicks are just right below. I only have a black and white printer, so normally there would be a little bit more color here. And the labels probably don't look as nice as maybe I think my particular printer is a bit on the cheap side, so the labels don't look perfect, but I'm satisfied with them. It's readable, and I'm happy with that. I was wondering kind of what I was going to do with so the Wayward Sisters. I was worried that the three minis would not fit in there, but they do. All three of them fit in nicely, along with their inserts. Like I have the inserts there for all three of them, and it all fits. Of course, they also have this thing, this cauldron, which absolutely will not fit. I suppose, one could make like a smaller version of this and stuff like that. But personally, I do like the fact that like you actually put cards here and you kind of like throw them in the cauldron and stuff. So I'm just doing this. Like it that makes sense to me. Um, I think that's the only like really unusual thing going on with any of these characters. Like I don't. I know that, for example, like one of the Jurassic Park sets has like a giant T Rex, like a giant the T Rex that would probably like fit this whole space here or whatever. But since I'm not collecting any of the IP characters, I'm not worrying about that. I also know that you could make a lot of really cool. There are a lot of really cool fan made decks. Like there's some literature one like based on Great Gatsby in 1984 um, uh, and things like that. But I am like what I have. I'm pretty satisfied with what I have, honestly. It's there's a lot going on. So yeah, that is the yeah that's how the all the characters are stored. It's basically like a character select screen here. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool and fun. You can just um, kind of bring these over, and as Burnt Toast Games showed, because the deck boxes are a bit taller than the box themselves, that does mean that the boxes are a bit taller. But it's like you can shake this around and nothing's really like the rattling that you hear is just the rattling inside each individual box. The boxes themselves are quite snug in there, and it's fantastic. I'm able to fit four more characters in here, which actually that brings before I show the rest of the couple boxes. I did also want to bring up. I am aware that this is not going to be all of the IP characters. I believe the community is aware of at least a couple more boxes that will probably come out next year or the year after, the 2025, 2026. For example, like because in 2021, I think their Restoration Games had a character design contest, and they picked four winners, but there were so many great entries, they decided they also wanted to pick 8 runners up as well. So we know who the four winners. We know what the four winners are. The four winners are Houdini, the Genie, Shakespeare, and Rosie the Riveter. That's the "We Can Do It" lady, World War II poster lady. So we don't have Rosie the Riveter yet. Sounds like she's probably going to have her own box, maybe a box with like another like with two or three with one or three other characters. So we know there's a box that's going to contain Rosie the Riveter to complete the set of 4 like winners of that contest. But there are 8 runners up, and we don't know who they did not say. Restoration Games did not say who those runners up were, and decided they would not until the runners up were actually like released. We do know, however, that let's see. We do know what 3 of the runners up are now. So Tomoe Gozen and Oda Hobunaga, a couple of characters from Japanese history and everything. Those 2 were runners up, and I believe the Wayward Sisters, which are the double toil and trouble late witches from Macbeth, that was also a runner up character. I believe there's also going to be a Battle of Legends season volume 3 that's going to have 3 runners up characters in it, so that's a total of 6. That means that there are 2 more runners up characters that we don't know what will happen to them. So I'm guessing it sounds like to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like there are at least probably 3 more boxes to go in the coming years that will have public domain characters, and I can fit 4 more characters in here, but I'm going to need another box. Thankfully, I do have another box that I plan to use. I still have this. Well, first of all, like Battle of Legends Volume 3. I'm probably going to use Battle of Legends Volume 3, to be quite honest, because I do like using the Battle of Legends boxes to kind of hold the characters. I do still have this Shakespeare box, though, which just like lovely, beautiful art. I love this. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to use another like larger box. And that would mean that all the characters would be in 3 boxes essentially. Again, probably the best that I can manage with this storage solution. I am, of course, aware that it sounds like The Witcher is going to have some, have a couple of boxes in the near future, and Restoration Games just recently announced, like just a few days ago, as of this recording, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, at least the Kickstarter in September, for Unmatched Adventures, the cooperative version of Unmatched. Which again, those are IP things. I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in public domain. Anyway, to continue on with my solution here. So where are all the maps and rules? Well, I decided to use the Cobble and Fog box, mainly because, well, first of all, again, beautiful art. I love, I'm a huge fan of characters based on classic literature. So Shakespeare, Cobble and Fog, those are probably my favorite boxes in terms of characters and artwork. But Cobble and Fog, those two words refer to the environment, like the area around you. And I figured, the streets and like the environment. So I figured this would be the best place to hold all of the maps, as well as, of course, all of the rule books. So I'm only keeping one copy of the core rules, and then all these other ones. Well, technically, some of these. It wasn't until later that Restoration Games decided to just have these, create booklets that only have like the rules of that particular set. Other ones have like the core rules plus the set rules in one, but this way I have everything in here, so it's all in here. All of the smaller maps are in here, and all of the larger maps are in here, from all the aforementioned boxes. And then of course I have these for the doors for that one map that has an open and closed door mechanic, basically. So yeah, Cobble and Fog is what I decided to use for maps, for map selection. Oh, there we go. And then, so my biggest question after all that was, what am I going to do with the bosses and all their stuff in Tales to Amaze, right? Because I really like the cooperative part of Tales to Amaze. But I decided to just keep the Tales to Amaze box because that seemed like the best way to keep all of the there's no way that I'm gonna be like keeping this stuff in like just normal deck boxes. Like there's just too much stuff. Like there's a lot of cards. These awesome health dials are just too big. And these amazing miniatures of Mothman and the Martian are also just way too big as well. So I figured I would just keep the box, and I figured I would just keep the box that it came with, so that I can just store everything. That does mean that because I took out the 4 characters, that it's kind of a bit on the empty side, but personally I'm okay with that. I don't mind. It helps. I think it helps things feel a little bit more organized now that I kind of know where everything is. I decided to keep the cooperative map in here because if I included this with all of the other maps, sure, you could use it for like normal games, but it also might be a bit confusing to people to see all this extra stuff around, and like all this bridge stuff and whatever. Or like for the Martian side, all this like these field crop circle things. So I decided since the maps are quite large, larger than most 4-player maps, and they seem to be built specifically with like cooperative play in mind, I decided to keep all the cooperative play stuff in here. So yeah, that is my Unmatched solution. Thank you very much to Burnt Toast Games for showing this solution off and sort of inspiring me to do it myself. So again, all of my Unmatched stuff is contained in this pile of 4 boxes. All right, that seems like a lot, and it is, but I will say that with this solution, that means I do not have to use any of these boxes. So again, I showed the Shakespeare box. Then of course there's the Houdini and Genie, Sun's Origin, Robin Hood versus Bigfoot, and Little Red Riding Hood versus Beowulf. All of these boxes are entirely empty. So this is all of the all the public domain box sets essentially, and I basically reduced the amount of boxes I needed by by a third to a half, I think. I'm using, of course, the biggest boxes, but it's just really nice to sort of have these boxes sort of on standby for something else I might need. So anyway, there you go. Yeah, all the characters here, the all the maps and cooperative play stuff here, and there you go. But yeah, so now that I'm all caught up, thankfully I have nothing that I need to buy at least until like next year or the year after and things like that. So it's nice to finally get a little bit of a break. I mean, I'm the one who kind of. I mean, the goal to get all the public domain characters is, of course, a self-imposed goal. I put it upon myself, and yeah, there you go. I'm very, very happy to have all these things, have a cool character select screen of all these legendary characters from history, mythology, literature, and so forth. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.